Hey guys, welcome to the first official video of Sorority Rants, and today we are going to be talking about the Divergent book to movie adaptation. So the book to the movie, because we've seen it, we've read it, we're a fan of it.
And we've obsessed over it.
Yes, we've read the whole series, so seeing the movie kind of made our dreams come true. And, well, because it was a really great movie.
Yeah.
And just before, if you haven't read the book or if you haven't watched, spoilers, okay? Do not watch this. Just leave and come back once you've read it.
We are really against spoilers. I think it's a really big problem and it should be illegal because they suck. I'm not even kidding you. They should be illegal. And so we don't want to ruin anything. We don't want to say something that you guys didn't know or whatever it is. So if you haven't read the book or if you haven't seen the movie, come back to this.
Yeah.
Later. When you're done.
And also, warning, because we may get really heated into a discussion and there may be a couple swear words that pop out.
More than a couple. Just saying.
We'll try.
We'll try to contain ourselves. Conceal, don't feel. Frozen.
I think I'm going to be the worst with swearing.
Yeah. Alright, anyway, so let's get started. Question 1.
Was not putting in Edward's eyeball death / Peter's way to be first a bad decision into the movie?
Okay, so you know in the book, when Peter is trying to get to the top, right? He's second place.
Edward's first.
In the
rankings.
In the rankings at Dauntless. So what he does is to like knock Edward out of the competition. He stabs him in the eyeball with a butter knife. And it's really gruesome in the book, and that wasn't even mentioned whatsoever in the movie. So Edward wasn't even important in the movie.
No, he was not.
He was in it.
Yeah.
But
didn't play a big part.
Yeah.
So we're wondering, was that a bad idea to not show that, and how did they get the point across just the same?
I think it was a bad idea because the whole eyeball stabbing on Peter's side made Peter seem very, very, very crazy, and it made a side of Peter come out where his competitiveness is just over the top. Like, that was kind of the intro to Peter's true self, and after that he tried to throw Triss off the chasm and stuff, also due to jealousy that she was getting up in the ranks. So I think they should have had it because it would have worked so well in the whole Peter's development.
Yeah.
And the fact that it didn't happen, Edward didn't drop out like he was supposed to in the book, and that affects the next 2 books.
And Molly too.
But
I think that Peter was Triss's first antagonist.
Oh, of course.
Because, well, technically her first one was the choice, whatever. But cause he was really evil in the books, and it made it more like the initiation was realistic. It was something real. It was not a game. That when Peter stabbed Edward in the eyeball with a butter knife. And I think that they also, in the movie, they didn't show that it was Peter at the chasm. We heard his voice.
Yeah, that's true.
And for us who read the book, we knew that he was part of the 3 guys, including Al, who tried to shove her.
It was some random.
I don't know. Shove her off the ledge into the chasm. And I think that that's really, important for Peter's character development because, in the other books, he's an important part in her
whole life.
Surviving.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, it's just another thing to think about, why should I trust him after all the things he's done? But in the movie, he didn't do that many things except for call her stiff.
Yeah, so they didn't, in the movie, they didn't make him seem as much of a bad guy as he was in the book. And I mean, they probably had a point to that because they obviously have a view, an image of what they want the second and third movies to be like. So if they've adapted the second and third movies to that, then I'm sure that's why they didn't make him seem as bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know a lot of the guys who read the books were hoping and were anticipating the eye stabbing scene. Even I was, because it's gory and gruesome. But it's it would have been cool to see. And I understand it must kind of been awkward to do that because not everyone has the Walking Dead as effects. But I mean, I still think he got his point across that he's gonna be a problem for Triss. He was still
he's
a super big ass jerk, okay? And he caused shit for everybody, but not as physical. It was more like mental games than physical like harassment.
Yeah, when he pulled out his little iPad and started reading out her family problems.
Cool. That was
a cool like an addition to it, because it came out really well, and like it really hit home for her, especially talking about her dad, and it was good. What?
Yeah.
Did she start
no,
beating him up?
he just left.
He just left. She got really pissy about it.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was more of a mental attack from Peter than of a physical attack. So they just switched it. I mean, which one's more effective? We can't tell yet. Which one affected Tris more? But like, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Next one.
Question 2. Compare the two endings to the final simulation. So when Thor.
Thor.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, wrong book.
4. That was either wrong book or
Theo and 4.
Okay.
You mixed up their names.
Yeah. When 4 was under the simulation, he tried to kill Tris. Anyways, which one was better in your opinion?
Okay, so in the book, it was kind of like it didn't take that much effort to get him out, right? He was alone in a room controlling the simulation, like hacked into a computer. And he pulled a gun on her. Was it a gun?
Yeah, he pulled the gun. They fought for a little bit. He pulled the gun, and then like
Tris was like, "Oh, I love you, Tobias." It's
put
me,
her
Tris.
hand to his chest, and she's
it was
like, "Feel my heart."
And then he just came out of it.
Took his hand and put it against her chest, and she's like, "Feel my heart. It's beating for you."
Yeah.
And then he broke out of it, and they stopped the simulation. In the movie, however, after, the fighting between Tris and 4 do take place, and they fought, and then the whole gun scene, and then she's like, "Tobias, I love you." No, she didn't even say Tobias. She said, "4, I love you," and then he comes out of it again, and then they go after Janine, who is in the room.
Yeah.
And this part, I loved it. Janine was like playing on her little iPad, and the simulation was running, and she's like, "You can't stop it now. It's too late. It's going too far." And then they were like, "No, you gotta shut it down." And she's like, "I'm not shutting it down. I'd rather die than shut it down." So then Tris sees on the floor a little needle that has the simulation, the injection for the simulation in it. So then she gives this look to 4, and they have like this little telekinetic moment, and he like kicks up the needle to her. She grabs the needle, injects it into Janine's neck, and then Tobias goes on the computer and starts like pushing a bunch of buttons. So then Janine starts shutting down the simulation. I found that to be an amazing ending.
Don't forget that Tris like threw a knife into Janine's hand and stabbed her hand onto the thing.
Computer.
Oh, that was beautiful. I was like crying of happy tears.
It was a very good moment for Tris and 4. I think that was amazing. The ending was amazing.
So yeah, the difference between the two is that in the book, they're all alone. It's her against Thor.
Oh my god, stop it, Thor!
It's her against Tobias, okay? It's her against Tobias, and it's her trying to get him back and, like, realizing her love for him and stuff. But in the movie, it's her against Tobias, and then
it's her and Tobias against
a full room of erudite assholes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But once again, the movie I find focused a lot more on action than on character development. Or character relationships, I should say.
Agreed.
So, in the book, it was really about their connection happening, how he felt her say, like, "I love you," or whatever, and then he snapped out of it because they had this emotional, like,
connection
moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, it was all action-packed. Like, there wasn't much of the sappy, like, I love you part.
Yeah.
It was all, like, move, go, stab Janine, shut down simulation.
Yeah.
Like, everything was more, physical and fast-paced than the book, and I find it really, really awesome. And you can tell a lot of, like, it attracted more fans, like, the movie attracted a lot more fans, because, like, the book could almost be considered a chick flick at some points, but the movie wouldn't be able to be considered that because the relationships aren't being overdeveloped type thing. Like, it's more to see, like, the futuristic side and the danger of the society type thing, so it was well done like that.
Okay, so was Al's suicide important? Could Veronica Roth have gone without?
I think I find that Al's suicide is super important for Tris's like development type
Personal
thing.
development.
Like in the movie, it happened really fast, and there was like no real build up of her and Al's relationship. But if you read the books, you could tell that she was super close to him, and like she was kind of like back off a little, but you could tell she really cared about him. And in the movie, when there was that scene in the cafeteria, and she said like, "Stay away from me. I don't want to like, don't ever come near me again." and he starts like crying, and then he kills himself. And how Triss is affected killed me, because it was so hard, like, oh, it was so hard to see her feel that way, and she must have felt like, oh, she was to blame, that it was her fault that he jumped, that he killed himself. And I love the way Shailene like displayed that emotion type thing. And in the book, I mean, the build-up for the relationship was a lot more evident, but in the movie, the result at the end I preferred better than in the book, because you really got to see how much pain it caused her and how guilty she felt for what happened.
Last question?
Let's go.
Last question. What did you think of the casting?
Steph.
100% amazing. I found that she portrayed the character so well. She became Triss. The way she was like unsure at the beginning and then like confident when she jumped off the roof. I love Shailene Woodley. I thought she was amazing in that movie.
Steph is hardcore fangirling right now. Hardcore. And everyone knows, everyone has the same opinion about Theo James, and I'm pretty sure he's perfect. Okay, like
perfect.
His physical self obviously is beautiful, but like his acting and just his like facial expressions for everything, and how he's so
well
hard emotions, and then he like softens a bit, but no,
you can see in his face he was having a conversation with his face.
So perfect.
And Miles Teller for Peter,
I was questioning it, because Miles Teller, everything else he's done has never been so serious
and like jerk. He played Willard in Footloose. This awkward, lanky guy who can't dance.
Learn how to dance from 5-year-olds.
Exactly. And then he comes to this jerk who stabs people in the eye. I mean,
it's crazy. He did so well, though. Miles Teller, bravo for you. Respect.
I loved Eric's acting.
Oh my god. Eric was so good.
So good. His voice.
Yeah.
His voice.
Was perfect.
That was like.
It was
dead on what you expected.
Dreamy.
Everything I imagined about the characters in my head. Eric, when he came on screen, he was better than my imagination.
Yeah.
Like, my imagination got kicked in the stomach, because it was just beautiful. He was so well casted.
Yeah.
The only character that I was like
Caleb,
kind of iffy about was Caleb. No hate on Ansel Elgort. Like, I love him as an actor. I cannot wait to see The Fault in Our Stars with him and Shailene. But as Caleb Pryor,
he was kind of awkward.
I don't know. I wasn't feeling him as Caleb. It was weird. Like,
he wasn't Caleb. Like, he was kind of neutral. Like, in the books, he's super nice, right? When he's in abnegation, he's supposed to be like the abnegation like golden boy, right? Because he helps everyone. And then when he switched to Erudite, he's not that big of a jerk. Like, he kind of like lessened his two extremes type thing, and they're more centralized in the middle. And like, it didn't play out that well. I mean, like, his acting was good, but like maybe just the way, just his script was
I think maybe they
badly written.
I think they didn't want to.
I'm not blaming him.
Yeah. I think they didn't want to centralize all the feelings on Caleb, like, because especially like with her mom and her dad, like, they didn't centralize it on family. They literally centralized it on
action,
her
and her journey type thing. Yeah,
her journey, and you know, obviously Caleb was part of her journey. And you saw that when they were in abnegation, he was like, come on, like, come help, you know, at one point at the beginning. And I find the part where she went to see him in Erudite, I thought that was a really good part. I don't know, I liked Ansel Elgort as Caleb.
Okay. I mean, his character might develop, his character will develop in the next movies too, like, he gets more intense. Alright, so is that a wrap for Divergent? And everything we've said, let's not forget that we love this movie, we love this series. So
we love the actors, we're not hating, we're just expressing.
Not in this video anyway.
Constructive criticism. Or if you're not a reader, just go watch the movie.
Just at least.
Like,
or
it's
even
so worth it.
Audiobooks. Or get someone else to read it to you.
Yeah.
I will read it to you.
I will.
We can totally read it to you. Let us know if you want us to read it to you. It might take a while, but,
subscribe down below. Put comments down below. What do you want us to talk about? Did you like us talking about Divergent? What are your opinions about Divergent? Seriously, we want to know
if you disagree with anything we've said.
Please let us down there.
We're so down.
We are open to criticism, comments, opinions, your opinions. I mean, for heaven's sake, we're putting our opinions on the internet. We might as well listen to yours.
Exactly.
So please do all this. And thanks for watching our first Stirati rant.
Bye.
Bye.